nice and clear water on Google Earth. Go out into orbit, and we then go out into the night sky and go to another object spotted in deep space that I call the Zodiac Highway. It's near the Pegasus region in space. And in the object, in the photograph, you can see an object that's definitely in the photograph. It's not it's not some sort of an anomaly or anything. You can see it's actually in there. And it's got a really strange texture to it. And you can't really see this object the way I see it on this video. But the object is located at RA. Well, let's go to the beginning of it here so you can see where it actually starts. The actual coordinates of the beginning of this anomaly in space, I would call it, is the originating point is at RA 0 hours 41 minutes 49.80 seconds, and the DEC is -2 degrees 04 feet 59.06 inches. Again, that's RA 0 hours 41 minutes 49.80 seconds, and the DEC is -2 degrees 04 feet 59.06 inches. That's where this object begins. And all along the object, it's has a strange texture to it. It seems to repeat itself, and the object actually changes colors. Oops, all the way through it. All the way through the object, it changes colors. And also, it looks like damage has been done to it from wear and tear of like meteor impacts or something. But it must be a resilient object to be able to put well, whoever could build something like this could definitely take care of it. And there's other areas along the object. It seemed to look like there's objects attached to this object, like maybe it's some sort of tractor beam or something, and it's transporting objects along it like a highway or something. Or maybe these are ships that are being transported along some sort of like transportation device or energy beam or something. I don't know how to explain this, but you can see very clearly that seems to be objects pointed, connected right to it, or even being like dragged next to it, maybe even. And these objects are real strange compared to the points of light that you ordinarily would see in space. Stars don't generally look like these objects that are near these objects in space. There's separate points of light on these objects that are near this, and there's like geometric shapes along a lot of these objects that look like little castles or something on these objects. Like there's some kind of space thing or something. Not all of them are like that, but they seem to be like strange objects, like big balls of water or something. And there's other areas here, like right here. There's other pieces of that object. Looks like it broken off, or it extends out that way. But all along the object, you can clearly see other objects connected directly to the object. And then it travels, and it goes, and it changes colors, and it's even lit up in some areas where it looks like there's lights on the inside of it, like right here. Like all along right here. When you look at it yourself, you'll be able to see the objects closer, and you'll be able to see all the details in the objects that are in the region next to this or attached to it. And also there's another point that I want to point out, is see how it looks like that object's in front of this object, and this one looks like it's directly behind the object. So that places that object in the photograph. And all along this whole region of this object, there's evidence of that. As you can see here, you can see the object passes right over that point of light where you can actually see the object blocking the light from that light. And then along the object you see other points of light. As you travel along, we travel along this object. And the whole object looks very strange. If you look at it really close for yourself, you'll see that objects seem to be right next to it, or right above it, or right below it. And it seemed to be like there's another object that seems to be directly connected to the object, where it looks like when you look at it really close, you can get as close as you can to the object without it blanking out like that. But you get closer, you can see that the area of the object is actually extends over to this light, like it's actually connected to the light. And in that object that's there, if you can get any closer with your directional arrows, you get one step closer. Oh, back up one step. There we are. You can see the object's connected to the object here. But when you look at it really close, and some of your computers might be better than mine, you can see different separate points of light within this point of light that tends to suggest that there's like other like light sources within that area of light that have points of light of their own and their own intensity of the source of light. That's how a light looks like on a camera. That you'll see the little cross of light, like when you study an ordinary star, like right here for instance, you have that cross right there, that cross pattern of the light glaring into the lens. Well, when you zoom into some of these smaller points of light, those smaller points of light also have those little cross patterns all in there, all kind of mixed patterned out. And there's other anomalies on these points of light that don't make sense when it comes to an actual star. When you view a star, where on a star do you have something that looks like connectors or some kind of plug-ins or something? You know, it looks like some of these objects look very strange when viewed up close. And then we get on down, there's another area, like I was saying, that's connected to it and under it, and it looks like it's actually part of the object. And then right there, it looks like it's under the object. And we keep on going. I'm going to try to hurry up. Oh. And then it crosses over, and it travels for thousands of miles this way. Or, I haven't done the actual math on how far all these distances are, but see, here's another part, interesting part of the highway, or whatever this thing is. I call it the Zodiac Highway. I think it's like some kind of tractor beam that's transporting objects, or some, I don't know, maybe it's a gate device, or I don't know, probe of some sort, or some kind of, maybe it's even just a space station. Who knows what this is? We won't know until we do more intense study on it. That's why I'm making these videos, so other experts out there can look at these objects, tell me what they think of them. But very interesting parts of these objects is the color and the range of object type texture. What are these objects? And you can see next to the objects there's like broken off pieces or something, like they've done repairs to them, and it even looks like there's areas that they made repairs on them. And the color range of how it fades out, when see how it moves back, and it's like it's going off into the distance there. Because right here, see how close up it is here? But then as we travel back this way, see how it just moves off into the distance, like it's breaking up back here in the back, or it's just so far away in that angle that the light's not really falling on it like it was in the foreground there, where we see how it's just disappearing back off into infinity, way back off here. And then we'll run into other objects that seem kind of strange, like blue objects that don't seem to be like any kind of star. It seems like to be like the shadow or the imprint of a giant spaceship or something there, some kind of like Death Star looking glow in there that's very strange and hard to understand when it comes to being that close to that light source here. What is right there? Why isn't that light source as bright as this light source? What is it? Not that far away right there, and it's right there, it's in the object's image. And then we have like areas here, like there's that line, that highway thing, and this just disappears back up here somewhere. But it extends down here, it connects right here, it crosses, like intersects, and the intersection is very interesting too. It looks like that object's like actually above the other object that's below it there. So that actually places this object in the photograph. It's not an anomaly in the film or the camera or the lens on the Hubble. This is an actual object, I believe, because it goes way over here. Keeps on going, keeps on going. It travels forever and ever and ever, and then it ends. It just ends. And then also, you can see areas, but you have to hunt them down. Oh, there's one right there. But right there, you can see the line in the photo between the mosaic of photos that the camera makes and the computer makes with the camera, where it takes the separate photos of the night sky, where it takes millions of photos across the whole night sky, and each one of those photos are placed together by the computer right on the trajectory of where they're supposed to be. And it's the accuracy of that computer is so finite that it's within, it's like, I don't know what the exact micron number is, but it's within like thousands of microns or something, I believe. It's something like very, very accurate, you know. And so that's more evidence of it right there. You'll find areas on there where you can actually see the photograph line. So what's this other line in in congruent angles to that angle of the photograph is there? How was this other line made? I don't see how anybody can explain this thing to me, because I've studied it quite thoroughly, and all along the object there's areas that look like it's attached to objects and objects below it and beneath it, like I explained before. And these are very strange objects, so I want everybody else that see these objects, see there's another object right there. What is that? What is that? It doesn't look like a star to me. It looks like some kind of ship or some kind of weird spaceship. And it's like the actual view of a real, like an alien object in space. Some kind of alien probe or a alien functional device, or what is this stuff? So I hope y'all enjoy this video. I'll show you the center coordinates of this object is here. We'll find those coordinates so I can give you those. You'll be able to find it on Google Sky at the coordinates. It's at the RA on the intersection point is 0 hours 40 minutes 45.61 seconds, and the DEC is -3 degrees 37 feet 52 inches 0.95 inches. Yeah, 52.95 inches. Again, that's RA 0 hours 40 minutes 45.61 seconds, and the DEC is -3 degrees 37 feet 52.95 inches. Hope you enjoy this object, and give me any comments that you wish to give me on this object and what you think and how amazing you think this video is, or this object is. But I'd love to hear any feedback anybody has about what they think about trying to help to understand these objects. That's really what my goal is to do, is to gain a number of followers that want to understand these images and be able to find the truth for ourselves on these images. And it's going to take more minds to be able to study these images and be able to come up with an actual explanation on how we have this line for the photographs being put together by the camera being that fine and able to be that detailed, but what is this other line created from, and what are these other objects have anomalies of their own. When you go upon this any of these objects, you see some strange contours to some of these objects, like see points of light and points of color and angles and line on it that don't really make sense when it comes to when you view an actual star. See, we'll go off and we'll see a star. Here's a star. That's what we see when we look through the camera, when we look at a point of light. So how come these other points of light are so dull and so pixelated? Because I believe that these objects